Reach's original author has made some revelations about the return of certain characters, which almost confirms Rosco will never be seen again in the series. Based on Lee Child's Killing Floor, Reacher Season 1 loyally adapted its source material and introduced characters like Rosco and Finley from the original book. Unfortunately, similar to the novel, Reacher Season 1's ending showed how, despite feeling attached to Rosco and starting a romantic relationship with her, Jack Reacher parted ways with the female character in the season's final arc. After Reacher Season 2 featured a Finley cameo, many viewers could not help but hope that Willa Fitzgerald's Rosco would also return at some point. However, so far, even after 3 seasons, Rosco has not been featured in the series after Season 1's finale. While only time will tell whether Reacher's future installments will feature her again, Lee Child has made some intriguing admissions about character reappearances that make Rosco's reappearance even more unlikely. In an interview via Forbes, Lee Child opened up about how leaving female characters behind in the Jack Reacher books is always a bittersweet experience for him. He said that every time he writes a female character in the original books, he falls hopelessly in love with them and feels bitterly disappointed when the book finishes and he has to let them go. At the same time, however, he justified this creative decision by adding that it works for both the books and the series. The fact that he logically justifies his creative decisions suggests that he and the show's creators have no reason to change this narrative trope. He said that he felt bad when he finished writing Persuader because it meant he had to leave Duffy behind. Despite this, though, he agreed that all Reacher seasons, so far, have had an outstanding love interest, and Duffy is one of them. Lee Child's comments on not keeping female characters around for the long haul highlight how he, too, understands why audiences find it hard to let go of characters like Rosco long after their story arcs conclude. However, the fact that he logically justifies his creative decision suggests that he and the show's creators have no reason to change this narrative trope. When Finley briefly appeared in Reacher Season 2 to help the titular Alan Ritchson character with his central case, it was hard not to believe that even Rosco would return at some point. Towards Season 2's closing arcs, she was even mentioned when Neagley teased Reacher about his past relationship with her. However, unlike its predecessor, Reacher Season 3 completely avoids making any references to Rosco or any of Jack Reacher's previous romantic interests. The season's romantic storyline primarily revolves around the main character's brewing relationship with Duffy before that, too, reaches its inevitable end. Reacher Season 3 also subtly establishes that between Seasons 2 and 3, the Alan Ritchson character has been in many casual relationships without committing to any women he has been with. Since Reacher Season 3 has already established that the titular character has come a long way from his relationship with Rosco, it seems unlikely that Season 4 will try to bring her back. By adapting a new book, Reacher Season 4 will also likely introduce a new love interest for the character, leaving no room for Rosco's return. Even from a narrative standpoint, Rosco's return would not make sense. The Amazon Prime Video detective series has been widely successful because it closely adapts its source material. If Rosco returns, the show will risk drifting too far from the books, which would cause more harm than good. Given how Reacher seems to have moved on from his relationship with Rosco, her presence in Season 4 would not fit the established narrative. By adapting a new book, Reacher Season 4 will also likely introduce a new love interest for the character, leaving no room for Rosco's return. While Dixon and Duffy were interesting additions to the show's roster, Rosco arguably remains Reacher's best love interest so far. Dixon and Reacher's relationship felt more like unfinished business because Reacher refused to have any romantic associations with her when they were in the military. Similarly, the character's relationship with Duffy also seemed like a brief, fleeting fling where they only got romantically involved because of the intense circumstances surrounding their case. Watch. Next. With Rosco, however, Reacher almost seemed to have genuine feelings. Even while parting ways with her, Reacher confessed that she was the only person who could make him stay back in Margrave, which is the opposite of what he expresses to Duffy and Dixon. The two characters' romantic relationship from Reacher Season 1 also feels like an unresolved chapter because Rosco was unwilling to let go. She even wrote her number on a Clark bar wrapper, hoping Reacher would contact her again. Reacher Key Facts Breakdown, created by Nick Sontora. Rotten Tomatoes critics' score, 96%. Rotten Tomatoes audience score, 80%. Based on Lee Child Jack Reacher book series. Unlike Rosco, Duffy and Dixon willingly accepted the end of their journeys with Reacher. Duffy even called things off before Reacher could tell her about his lifestyle choices and how they prevented him from committing to long-term relationships. Rosco, in contrast, seemingly held on to some hope in Reacher.